Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is with us. Thanks for the time today, man. What's going on?
Hey, man, just actually got done doing a training session with my buddy Ryan Hall. He came down, so I believe he's got a fight coming up, and so we're getting some good training in, man.
Ken Flo, I know you've been spending a lot of time with Ryan.
Hell yeah, man. I'm excited. I'm so glad he's over there working with Wonderboy, and he has nothing but amazing things to say. He's always learning and training with the best, as you can see. So
it's been a fast week for you since that press conference. I mean, this fight feels for us like it's coming quick. Does it feel that way for you?
Oh, yeah, man, it can't come fast enough, to be honest with you. I mean, this is definitely a dream come true. Fighting at the Madison Square Garden, I just think about how many legendary people have been in there, performed in there, and now the UFC is going to be there. But even better than that, I'm actually going to be fighting on the card with, Chris Weidman, who's, family now. So I think that's, a plus. It's a bonus.
Yeah, I don't think the masses realize that you guys are like brothers now. So that's very cool for you guys. Now, I think a lot of people, Stephen, are just really happy for you to get this fight because you're a good man. You're a special fighter. You're certainly worthy. Some people thought even before you fought Rory McDonald that you were worthy of a title shot. I mean, do you get that sense that people are really just happy that you're getting what people believe to be a deserved opportunity here?
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. I mean, after – I don't know if you saw it or not, on Fox Sports 1, I called him out, and he was like, he pretty much told me straight up, no, man, I mean, I want you to fight Lawler. You can go fight Lawler. I want to do a money fight. I think that kind of pissed a lot of people off, and, they actually got on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and really fought on my behalf. So, you know what, man, I thank all of them for going out there and doing that, because everybody knows I'm not a trash talker. I'm not that good at it, man.
Stephen, do you think Woodley is getting overly emotional about this?
Oh, you know what? It seems like it. You go back and he had said some stuff on interviews that I've kind of gotten under his skin. That he doesn't respect me as a fighter, he respects me as a fighter, but not as a man, which is what he said, and which I don't understand, man. I haven't done anything to him, but. Yeah, I think I'm getting under his skin, man. He's getting a little emotional, and you kind of saw it in the press conference. When we actually faced off, he just looked really bummed. He was like, man, you guys are booing me? And as soon as he said that, I kind of got a grin on my face. I was like, yep, he's letting this get to him. So we'll see how that affects him during the fight.
Now, Woodley's probably one of the few guys you faced that, might be as fast as you, but what are some of the other things that you kind of need to worry about with Tyron Woodley?
You know what? He's very explosive, and he's got heavy hands. He touches you with that right hand, you're going down. So that's one thing that definitely going to be watching out for. Also, his wrestling, man. He's got a good wrestling background and used it very effectively during his fights. He likes to keep his left side forward, doesn't switch a whole lot. Kind of like a Johnny Hendricks, but with the other side forward and way more explosive. So yeah, I mean, we got a good game plan going in for this fight, and we're going to be ready for it, man.
So I'm pumped that Ryan Hall is with you. He's one of the most impressive martial artists that I've ever been around and worked with. What has Ryan been working on, and how have you guys been helping each other?
Man, you know what? It's the movement for him, and God, he has come leaps and bounds when it comes to his striking. So that's what he's focused on here, getting good sparring partners. And not only that, but getting somebody who, most people don't have in their gym with the movement, because we got a lot of karate fighters here, a lot of kickboxers, and all of them have different styles. So just coming in here for a week or two is giving you such a variety of people to spar with, which is going to help you out during a fight, because, if you go out there and fight somebody, with their style, you have, at some point in time, you have fought somebody with a similar style, so you're used to it. You adapt very quickly. And of course, jiu-jitsu with me, working on the ground. Just his philosophy with everything has helped me tremendously. And, he's a huge aspect to my camp, and, we're doing the best we can to help him out as well with his striking.
So during these next 4.5, 5 weeks or so, are you in South Carolina exclusively and having people come to you, or are you going to bounce around at all?
Yep. You know what? I started off my camp in New York with Chris Weidman. We pretty much had the same, fairly the same fighter, big, heavy hands, wrestling base. He's fighting Yoel Romero, so we went up there, we trained together. I'm back here for 2 weeks. Then I go back to New York to train with Chris for another week and a half, and then I'm back home. So I'm definitely bringing a lot of fighters in. Obviously, Ryan came in, got my buddy Matt Miller, who's, phenomenal wrestler from Canada. My brother Evan's coming in Thursday for the sparring partner. So yeah, we're bringing people in, and when I'm not here, I'm up in New York training with my buddy Chris.
Stephen Wonderboy Thompson with us here on the Anakin Florian podcast. So I talked to a coach recently who said he's seen mistakes on film being made by people who have fought you in the UFC. Why do you think, I mean, without revealing a game plan and anything you don't want to say, fine, but why do you think people have such a hard time, sustaining success against you in a fight?
You know what? I've come a long way when it comes to, mixed martial arts. I've studied kickboxing and karate for pretty much my entire life. And just working on, I think if you saw in my earlier fights in the UFC, I was very hesitant because I was worried about the takedown. But now since I've been working with these good wrestlers and good jiu-jitsu guys, like my buddy Ryan Hall, and has kind of helped me out and feel more comfortable out there. And just the style is very difficult to adapt to. Unless you have somebody in your gym with that sideways stance, who throws the lead leg kicks, who blitzes and works the angles, it's different, man. And you can watch film all day, but until you get out there and feel it, it's completely different. So,
Right.
Like Rory, I think he probably prepared himself more than anybody else I've faced. He brought in Raymond Daniels, who's also a karate fighter. But still, it was different. He said, man, it was so different out there with you. And it's just being able to adapt to your opponent, I feel. With Rory, I think he was probably one of my toughest opponents today, just because he's very good everywhere. And just going out there and to adapt, because, my whole game plan going out there in the beginning was to take him out in the first round, was go out there, be aggressive, kind of like it did Johnny Hendricks. But as soon as I went out there, he lowered his stance. I completely had to change everything up because I knew he was waiting for me to close the gap so he can look for that takedown. So just adapting is, it's difficult for those guys to adapt to it. And, yeah, man, that's basically it.
Dude, that's interesting stuff. It sounds like a TV analyst in the making on the other line right now.
I'm trying.
Steven,
I'm trying. Of course, being out there and working with Kenny Florian and DC and those guys, they definitely helped me out and made me feel like I'm at home. And so I appreciate you, man. So thank you for being that role model for me as well.
Of course, my man. So, we had Tyron Woodley on this show a couple weeks ago, and I think that's where he made some of his most pointed comments having to do with this fight and how it came together. So I want to just play about 40 seconds of the audio from the UFC welterweight champ, Tyron Woodley. I know you addressed the emotion, but I want you to hear this from him, and then we'll get your thoughts on the other side.
Wonderboy, I respect him as an opponent, but I really don't respect him as a man. Like, he knows that we committed to this fight almost 6 weeks ago. And for him to charade around like I'm scared to fight him and retweeting and liking all these posts, for someone to desperately need that real affirmation from the fans and for people to like him, like, I can't respect that because I'm going to try to do the same thing to you, no matter if you like me, no matter if you hate me, no matter if you talk up. You're not going to be able to say one thing and say, okay, now I really want to kick you. I've never wanted to hurt a fighter in my life. I've knocked a lot of people out. I made a lot of people look like they were in harm's way. But this is one person that emotionally, I physically want to hurt him.
So you heard it there, Stephen, from Tyron Woodley. Any thoughts on him sounding off a couple weeks ago?
You know what? From the sound of it, he is, he's letting the emotions get to him, and that could definitely be, the beginning of his downfall. I mean, when I go out there and fight, I don't get emotional, because if you bring emotion into it, you start doing things that you normally wouldn't do. And I can tell that in his voice that I've already got under his skin a little bit. For him to say that I knew 6 weeks ago, when 6 weeks ago he was saying that he wasn't going to fight me. He didn't sign a contract. And, him and my dad actually got into it on social media a little bit because he did say he didn't respect me as a man and I'm a fake humble. So, while I was training, my dad actually got on there and, try to set everything straight. But we really didn't find out that we were fighting until he announced it. I knew there were some things going back and forth, but from what I understood that it wasn't happening. And when I would do interviews, they would say, hey, do you think he's scared of you? I never said he was scared. It started starting to seem like it. Probably not, because he's a professional. But you know what? Let him think that. Let him get emotional. We'll see how, like I said, we'll see how that affects him out there during the fight. It doesn't affect me one bit.
All right, well, I can't wait to see it. A couple rapid-fire questions here on the way out with Stephen Thompson. How many family and friends are you going to have in the building November 12th? Hot ticket.
Oh my goodness! I think we've already sold over 100 tickets. Those are families. You know, we got whole families coming in. Students of mine, they're making the trip up there, and it's definitely super excitement around here in my hometown and in our school. So yeah, we got a handful of people coming up.
Yeah, I think the safest bet on the fight card is that that will be a pro Thompson crowd on November 12th. All right, Bisping Hendo this weekend. If you had to walk to the window and bet on the fight, who gets your money?
Oh my goodness, man. Well, I mean, going back and looking from the last fight that they fought, obviously everybody knows right now that Hendo has got that big right hand, and he can knock you out anywhere, like you saw when he fought Hector Lombard, with that short elbow. He's very dangerous, but he is also on his way out. I mean, I know Bisping has improved tremendously since then, as you could tell against the Luke Rockhold, but I don't think Hendo's going to go out there and underestimate him like Rockhold did. So I'm looking to see a war, and at this level, it's very difficult to pick somebody. Oh, man, because you never know what's going to happen, right? So, shoot.
Yeah.
You got me there, man. I wish you never asked me this question.
You and Red De La Cruz, are you guys still friends, more than friends? What's going on?
Actually, we had a great time when I went to Manila, also South Korea. So we hung out pretty much the entire time. She is very laid back, very, very humble girl, and man, she's phenomenal. I was hoping there was going to be something there, but you know what? She's back home, and I understand she's focused on her career, and so am I. We actually keep in touch. We're good friends. But no fireworks yet, man. No fireworks yet.
I love it. All right, there he is, UFC welterweight title challenger, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Dude, we're all really happy for you, man. Train hard, stay healthy, and I guess we'll see you in New York, man, in less than 40 days.
Thanks, my friend. I appreciate you guys having me on.